The next iPhones are coming without a notch. The iPhone 14. What? This video is about the 10R? Okay. The old iPhone, the iPhone 10R. So the iPhone 10R is an iPhone that's been in the news all around the year. In fact, recently I saw a lot of websites reporting this. iPhone 10R available at rupees 18,599, cheaper than several Chinese smartphones at this price point. Yeah, tacky headline. Buy Apple iPhone 10R at just rupees 17,599. iPhone 10R पे bumper discount offer shuru. So is the iPhone 10R actually available at 18K? Well, yeah, you guessed it, not really. It's all about exchange offers, bank offers, blah blah blah. And honestly, you can only get the iPhone 10R at 18K, 17K if you exchange a flagship phone like the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which I don't think anybody in the right mind is going to do. So yeah, it's all super clickbait, but this brought my attention to the iPhone 10R. See, the iPhone 10R has been going at 35K, 34K for quite some time on Amazon. And during the Great Indian Festival sale, I remember a lot of people getting it for less than 30K. So is this like the budget iPhone to buy in 2021 or even 2022? Now I'm going to answer that question today, but starting off, let me get this straight. I personally rate the iPhone 10R better than the iPhone SE 2nd gen because I just can't take those bezels anymore. So it's all about the iPhone 10R versus Android budget flagships in this price range, and compared to them, the iPhone 10R has some advantages and some disadvantages. So let's take it one by one. Advantages first up. See, first of all, the iPhone 10R still looks like a modern day iPhone. Yes, it does not have the 12 or 13's squared edges design, but with the whole notch design, the glass and metal build, stereo speakers, it's still a modern day iPhone that stands the test of time. I also like the fact that it's a pretty compact phone when you compare with the likes of Mi 11X. Now, one advantage, actually two advantages, the iPhone 10R has over almost every single Android phone in this price range is the IP67 water and dust resistance rating and support for wireless charging. Be it the Mi 11X, iQOO 7, Moto H20 Pro, OnePlus 9R, none of them have IP67 rating or wireless charging support. Now, some phones here do have an IP rating for splash resistance, but IP67 means the iPhone 10R can be submerged up to a meter deep for 30 minutes. Now, one Android phone in this price range that does have IP67 is the Galaxy A52s, but it still lacks wireless charging, so the iPhone 10R has the upper hand here. Now, another area where the iPhone 10R has an advantage over its Android flagships is iOS. There are two reasons. Number one, it's simple. iOS is far better than MIUI or FunTouch OS or even the new Oxygen OS in terms of the experience, bloatware, bugs. I mean, should I even explain this? Point number two is Apple's great software support. Apple promises a minimum of 5 years of major updates and 6 years of security updates from the launch year. Now, iPhone launched in 2018. Yeah, it's been that long. I mean, it was launched pre-corona. Now, technically, this phone will get iOS updates till 2023 and security patches till 2024. Now, if you take a look at the current state of the iPhones, iPhone 6s launched way back in 2015. Yeah, 6 years back is still getting the major iOS update, iOS 15. This means the iPhone 10R should get major iOS updates till 2024, which means 3 years of updates from today, which is still better or on par with any other Android phone in this whole 30 to 40K price segment. This is a big point if you ask me. Disadvantages. So the biggest disadvantage of the iPhone 10R when compared to any other phone in this price range is obviously its display. Look, there's no better way to put it. The lower resolution 60Hz Liquid Retina aka IPS LCD is no match against the 120Hz AMOLEDs right now, be in terms of brightness, picture quality or sharpness. For example, here's the iPhone 10R and the Mi 11X side by side and you can see the difference in colors here. Honestly, if you ask me, the other disadvantages I'm going to talk about after this are not exactly deal breakers. This probably is for a few people, but is it as bad as it seems? The truth is, on paper it seems like a poor display specs wise, and at 30 to 35K I would want an AMOLED. But not everyone cares about AMOLED or high refresh rate, and for them this is adequate. I mean, the iPhone 10R was the best selling iPhone in the world in 2019, and it was the second best selling iPhone in the world in 2020 after the iPhone 11, which has the same LCD display. So yeah, a lot of people are obviously fine with this display. The next disadvantage of the iPhone 10R, at least on paper, is its chipset. I mean, the 7nm A12 Bionic in the 10R is old, no doubt, and it's obviously no match against newer flagship chipsets, but that's not the whole story. See, what makes the iPhone XR so appealing at this price is its reliable performance. I mean, this is a phone that's still solid after 3 years. I mean, Akshay is still using the iPhone XR as his daily driver right now, and he says the performance is awesome, without any issues anywhere, even while playing a game like BGMI. In fact, BGMI supports Ultra HD graphics on the XR, which just speaks a lot. I also have an iPhone XR at home, which my mom is using, and every time I use the phone, I never actually feel it's an old phone. I mean, also have an iPhone 12 mini at home, and I don't feel any difference in the performance of the XR and 12 mini. In fact, I've checked a lot of Reddit threads on the XR for this video, and everyone just loves the XR's performance. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, why did I put the A12 Bionic in the disadvantages? Well, I put this as a disadvantage because it's an old chipset, and on paper it kind of lags behind a chipset like the Snapdragon 870. I mean, the Snapdragon 870 has the higher clock speed, octa-cores, and you can see the difference in AnTuTu scores. But to give you an idea about the A12 Bionic's performance, here's the Geekbench 5 scores. And you know what? It was really surprising to me that the XR with the A12 Bionic beats a more modern chipset like the Snapdragon 870 in the single core score. That's all. I also noticed that the iPhone XR completes both the AnTuTu and the Geekbench benchmark faster than the Mi 11X, which is saying something. Now, another area with the iPhone XR was surprising is its cameras. Now, you all know this, the XR has just this one 12 megapixel camera with OIS, and if you want a telephoto and an ultra wide angle lens, the XR is obviously at a disadvantage. Now, what was surprising here is that the iPhone XR still takes pretty good shots. I mean, I compared the XR photos against the Mi 11X, and a lot of times the Mi 11X takes brighter, more pleasing shots, like in this one or in this one. But a lot of times the iPhone XR just holds its own and is just more consistent and better with better contrast and better sharpness. The point is, the iPhone XR and Mi 11X photos are comparable. Both are good. But the fact that the XR takes shots that stand well against a way newer phone like the Mi 11X is just impressive. Now, the last area where I had my doubts on the iPhone XR is the battery and charging. The iPhone XR has a modest 2942 mAh battery. So yeah, this is kind of a small battery compared to most Android phones in this price range coming with 4500 mAh batteries. But you know what? The battery performance is pretty good. See, I ran Geekbench 5 times and AnTuTu 5 times on the XR and Mi 11X to check for any throttling issues. Now, there were no throttling issues on any of these phones, but I checked the battery drain, and on the Mi 11X, the phone went from 100 to 70%, so it lost 30% battery. The XR went to 62%, so it lost 38% battery. Now, do note the difference in battery size here and the fact that we bought this XR in 2019, and you can see that the XR's performance is actually better. Now, one area where the iPhone XR actually kind of feels old is on the charging front. I mean, right now, it does not come with a charger in the box, and it supports only a maximum of 15 watt fast charge, which is like slow in 2021. So time for the verdict. Does the iPhone XR make sense right now? Look, the iPhone XR does not match the Android phones in this price range in terms of overall raw power. It does not have an ultra wide angle camera or a telephoto lens. And its IPS LCD display is obviously kind of okayish. It does not really stand well against 120Hz AMOLEDs. So it all boils down to this. If you really want to try the iPhone experience and you don't want to spend a truckload of money, this is a great sort of budget iPhone, especially at 30 to 35K. The XR looks like a modern iPhone, at least from the front. It will still be supported better than most Android phones. It has a great track record when it comes to performance. It brings a polished iOS experience without any weird bugs or issues. The single camera is still pretty good, and so is the battery life. Now, one thing to note though, apart from the iPhone XR, another iPhone that's a great entry point into the iPhone experience is the iPhone 12 mini. I say this because during the Big Billion Day sale, I got the iPhone 12 mini for 35K after the bank offer. And while the mini is not a big hit with everyone, it's just a better phone compared to the XR if you're okay with that size. Anyway, if you still have any questions about the iPhone XR, just comment down below and I'll answer them. Also, give this video a like, make sure to share it. And yeah, our cool new short videos channel, B-Bomb Shorts, is now live on YouTube. I'll leave the link down below. Make sure to subscribe and tell us how you like our really cool short videos. Trust me, you're going to love them. Make sure to subscribe right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Hey BMW, I'm bored.
Maybe you haven't yet had the chance to try sport mode.